Ein Yaakov Gemara Maseches Baba Metzia Daf Ein Aleph. Tona Rabbi Yosef says like this: In Kesef Talva Es Amid. There's a pasuk that when you lend money to my nation, and the Gemara already said that im over here in a different place it says im. It doesn't mean if, but it's you have to. As only imach. So you when there come the poor man to you and he needs money, so you should lend him. So the Gemara now go through the list of priorities. Ami v'oibet kechovim ami koidem. If comes to you somebody from our nation and somebody from a different nation for a loan, the closest to you, the more you're obligated to give first to the closest person. So Ami, my nation, comes first. Now, Oni v'oshir, comes a poor man and a rich man, they both need a loan. Oni koidem. The poor man is first because he has a bigger need than the rich man. Aniyecha v'aniyeircha aniyecha koidmen. If comes to you, your poor people from your family, and coming to you, poor people from the city, your family comes first. Aniyeircha v'aniyeir acheres. If come to you somebody from your city and somebody from a different city, you have an obligation to lend the money to your city first. So we will see from here that the closest to you, the more obligation you have to give them first. That's how the level of priorities. Now the Gemara asks, Amar, Ami v'evet kechovim ami koidem pshita. What are you telling me? If come to you somebody from your nation, somebody from a different nation, give it to your nation first. Obviously, it's obvious. Yeah, that's normal people that know that before you go help somebody from far away, go to a different country to help some poor people, some sick people. There's plenty of people in your own country. Go take care of them first. That's obviously why the pasuk have to tell me it comes to you somebody from my nation, from a different nation, give it to your nation first. That's obvious. Omar Rav Nachman, Omar Li Huna. Rav Nachman says Huna told me. It was Rav Huna. To the Rav Nachman, he's a friend. He called him Huna. Omar Rav Nachman, Omar Li Huna lo nitzrecha da afilu lo oibet kechovim beribis ul Yisrael bechinam. Meaning like this. You got, let's say you got a $1,000 you could afford to lend to somebody. Comes to you somebody from your nation and you cannot take interest from him. It's also from a different nation, you're allowed to take interest. So you have the opportunity now to make money on this $1,000. You could earn some interest on it. Somebody tell you, I'm going to give you a high interest on it. No, you're obligated to give this money to your own nation, to your own brother, without interest, meaning you're going to lose money now, because if you give it to the other nation, you're allowed to charge them interest, but you lose the interest, but give it, that's the chiddush of the Torah. Ami koida, my nation, your brother comes first, even though you're going to lose money, meaning you're not going to earn any money anymore. You have an opportunity to make money on the money. No, he's first. Okay, Tanya. Now, the Gemara says like this: Amar Rabbi Yosef, Bore kama smuyas enoyim shel mavo beribis. How people that lend money with interest, they do isur me'amidaraisa. They commit that prohibition. They give money, they charge interest, which is they're not allowed to your own nation. He says that they're blind. He says Odom koyre l'chavere rosho. Imagine if somebody, God forbid, would call you a Russia, call you an evil man, you're wicked. You would go after him. How could you call him such a name? He says, Vehem, Mavim Eidim, people that make a transaction with interest, they're both Rishoim. The Malve, the lender, and the borrower, that they're doing money for interest, they're both called Rishoim. The Isur, anybody's doing Isur Midaraisa, Isur, it's a Russia. The Mavim Eidim, they bring witnesses. They say, I'm making a contract over here. I need you to be my witness. The Lavlor, they bring somebody to write this contract, the Soifer. The Kulmus, they bring the quill, Udyo, the ink. The Koismin, they write, the Koismin, and the sign on it, Ploini, Ze Kofar Beloike Yisrael. So basically what you're writing over there, you're saying, this guy, you're writing, you're signing, you're certifying it, that those two are koifer beloike yisod. You're going against Hashem over here. You're a koifer. all of them on part of it, and nobody insulted. Like Gemara says, Rabbi says, if somebody would tell you you're Russia, you're wicked, you've been so insulted, you would revenge from him. Over here, you're doing it, and everybody is happy to do the Aveira. So that shows how blind they are. Now we're learning something very important, and if we have time, we're going to bring a bunch of other Gemaras similar to it, how important what we're learning now, what makes you to lose your wealth, and what makes you to make a wealth. Tanya Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar Omer, Kol Mishesh Lo Moes, anybody has money, Malve Oisan Shelo Beribis, and he lends the money without interest. All of Akosub Omer, Kosub in Tehillim, Kaspoy Lo Nosan Beneshech, he giving his money without interest. V'shochad Al Noki Lo Lokach, he didn't take any bribe. If he's a judge, and he was sitting on a case, he didn't take any bribe from anybody. Whoever does this, meaning he's honest, both of them, what's common in the both of them, they don't have taibas moment. We all have need for money, but they need the money have to come in a kosher way. If you're willing to do something osur, to do a prohibition to make your money, meaning you have taibas moment, you have such a great desire to make money, you don't care how kosher it is. Those two now, somebody doesn't give money on interest, he doesn't have taibas moment. He could have made money on his money. He says, no, I have a mitzvah to do, I'll do mitzvah with my money. Same thing, the judge that doesn't take any bribe, he doesn't have taibas moment. He's sitting on a bench, he could have made a lot of money taking bribes. He says, no, I don't need this extra money. I don't need it. I'm fine. It doesn't have. So those people that don't have that taivas moment and they do what Hashem wants them to do, they would never be unstable. It's moitatus that when you fall apart, they will never fall apart. They would be sturdy. They would stay sturdy where they are, meaning wherever it is, that the family is sturdy, the finances are sturdy. From that you learn, anybody that lends money with interest, taking interest, nechosov mismoitetin. Nechosov, it is belonging, his properties, his wealth will be shattered, will fall apart. And because it says, if you lend money without interest, lo yimot l'olam, you won't be shattered, you won't be unstable, you will be sturdy. So mashma, if you give money and you do the aveira, you charge interest, you will be shattered, meaning a person could be wealthy and he could lose everything. That's what the Gemara says. So we see from here, one segula. We're going to bring a bunch more now to how to preserve your wealth, how to not to lose it, is lend money without interest, make a gemach. And if God forbid you lend money with interest, you could lose everything. The Gemara says, we know a lot of cases, business people, they have a gemach, they help others without interest, and sometimes they also lose their business. They could be in losing proposition. How could you say they're never lo yimot lo oilam? They're never going to get shattered. They're never going to get unstable. The Gemara enters Omar Rabbi Elazar, halolu mismoitetin v'oilim v'halolu mismoitetin v'enam oilim. It happens in life. People go down, people go up. People that lend money with interest, when they fall apart, they're never going to come back again, because they earned a lot of the money with Isur. They were not allowed to lend money for Ibis. But people that lend money as a Gemach, even when they fall, when they get unstable, they will come back. They will come back to stability. And that's the promise of the Torah. Of the says in Tehillim, Kaspoil nosan beneshech, when he don't give his money with interest, he gives it without interest. V'shochad al nokir lo lokach, he doesn't take any bribes. Oise ele lo yimot lo olam, meaning even it's going to be smoitus, it won't be lo olam, won't be forever. He'll come back. Okay. So that's we see from this Gemara, the Gabe specifically, the Gabe interest, that if you lend your money without interest, it's a segula to preserve your wealth. And if God forbid, even temporarily, there was some kind of loss, you will regain it again. Now I'm going to bring, the time allows, few Gemaras that talks about different things, what makes you to gain wealth and not to lose it, not what to do, not to lose your wealth. The Gemara in Shabbos, Daf Kuf Yud Tes, the Gemara is like this. Bo'amine Rabbi Rabbi Shmuel, Rabbi Yosef. Rabbi asked Rabbi Shmuel, Rabbi Yosef. Ashirim sheberetz b'mayim zoichen. Wealthy people of Eretz Yisrael, what their schus? How do they gather wealth? Amar le b'shvil shema asrim. Shenemar aser to aser. In Eretz Yisrael, when they give meiser, and that's schus, they get wealthy because it's aser to aser. The Gemara in Tanya says, Daftes aser b'shvil shetis asher. The Gemara says, Sheba Bovel u'mayim zoichen, and in Bovel, I'm not going in details with this Gemara, we already had Shurim and the Sinyonim, why the Bovel also they could do Meiser. I'm not going to go into it right now, but I'm just going to say what the Gemara said. The Bovel, people that live in Bovel, the wealthy people, how did they get their wealth? They honor the Torah. When you honor the Torah, that's and on the left side of the Torah it's wealth. When you honor the Torah, you get wealth. In other countries, what's chuz they become wealthy? So we see three things could the Sgula for Ashiras. Giving Meiser, honoring the Torah and people that learn the Torah, and honoring Shabbos. Making a nice Shabbos. You dress nicely for Shabbos, you eat good food for Shabbos, you spend wisely the time on Shabbos, you don't waste time, you mechaber the Shabbos, you honor Shabbos, with that you become wealthy. Okay, so then the Gemara brings a Maisa, a story over there, how somebody becomes super wealthy, but I'm not going to go through this because I'm going to go through more Gemaras for the Segulas, how to get wealthy and how to preserve the wealth. The next Gemara is Maseches Sukkah Daf Chavtes. The Gemara is like this. B'shvil dala dvorim nichse balabatim nimsorim lamalchus. The 4 reasons people could lose their wealth to the government. Al mashesh tores pruim. Number 1, if you lend money to somebody as a gemach, you talk about you did mitzvah, you did somebody give a gemach, and he paid you, but you didn't give him back his shtar where it says I owe you note. You didn't give it back to him, or you didn't tear it. You're holding it still in your drawer, whether it was by mistake, not by mistake, and then you forgot, and you said you come to the guy, you could tell him, you know, you owe me the money, or even you don't ask him. You're not allowed. The halacha says the minute somebody paid you, you have to destroy the shtar, the I owe you note. You have to destroy it. Somebody doesn't do that, with that he could lose his wealth. That's one reason he could lose the wealth. Val malvei beribis, what we just learned now, people that lend money on interest, it's osur. It's to the Araisa. When you malvei this, for that you could lose your wealth. Val shoyo sofek, the third thing is, val shoyo sofek limchos v'lo michlo. When you are able to rebuke somebody, when you're able, not always you're able, and he says, I don't care what I get involved in this. If you didn't rebuke somebody, then you own what he did wrong. You own it, and for that you could lose your wealth. And the fourth thing is, val shepoiskim tzedakah barabim v'nam loisnim. Sometimes people get together, they make an appeal, and everybody wants to show that he is a giver or he's a gavir, and they says I give this and I give that, and a lot of times they talk big, but they don't deliver. People that talk and they don't deliver, that could make them to lose their wealth. So that's one Gemara. The same continuation, Chavtes Amud Beis in Masechah Sukkah. Amar Rav, b'shil arbo dvorim nichse balabatim yotzim letimyon. There's another 4 reasons why you lose your wealth. 1, al koivshe schar socher. I'm going to say the 2 and I can the difference with them. Va'al oishke schar socher. What's the difference between koivish and what oishek schar socher? Meaning you have to pay your worker or anybody did work for you have to pay on time. Whether it's a contractor or a worker, you have to pay him on time. The difference in oishek and koivish is like this. Koivish schar socher, he didn't say I'm not going to pay you. Koivish meaning he says come tomorrow. He's going to pay him eventually. By the time he's going to pay him, he's going to torture him. It's torturous to deal with him. That's not allowed to. You paid, the halachas, you pay him on time. But yom etitan schoroi. So if you koiver schar socher, you tell him, come, holach b'shov, come tomorrow, for that you could lose your wealth. And oishik schar socher, that he goizel legamre. He decides, I'm not paying you. You don't have to worry, come tomorrow, next day, tomorrow. I'm not just paying you. That's it. So that's mamash haganev. That also he could lose his wealth. So again, two things. Koiver schar socher, oishke schar socher. The third thing is, val sheporkin all mal tzavarim, nosim mal chavreim. When they have an obligation to do something, they say to someone else, you do what I have to do. They give it to someone else, their duty, their obligation. And the fourth thing is, Val gasu saruach. The gasu saruach keneged kulon. If somebody feels hodiness, gasu saruach is hodiness, and that's worst of all. So we see from here, hodiness could cause a person to lose his wealth. Okay, so that's Gemara Sukkah. Daf Chavtes. Now we're going to go to the next Gemara. The next Gemara is Gittin Daf Lamed Chesamot Beis. Omar Rabbe. Rabbe says, Behane Tlas Mile Nachte Balabatim Menichsoyen. For three reasons people lose their wealth. The Mafkav with the Tayel Lecherusa. The one reason it's not shaykh today. There's a time that people trade with slaves and they used to send them free. That would be one reason why they would lose their wealth. Again, I'm not going to go into it now because it's not practical. The second thing is, with the Sayre Nichsayu B'Shabbato, they go on Shabbos and they go look at the property. Let's say you have a field. You go look, I need to fix the fence over here, I have to plant this over here, I have to do this over here. You're going looking in your business deals and needs on Shabbos. Shabbos, you have to be disconnected from the world. You're in a different realm now. Don't worry about your business now. But people that think about their business on Shabbos, they go and see what they need, that could cause them to lose the wealth. And I'm going to explain now why it has to do with the wealth. And the third reason, with the kaves with the sayu b'shabbat b'idan b'midrasha. So people, there's a time of learning during Shabbos, and some people make their time to go eat. Instead of going to shul, they could eat another time. For that, they could lose their wealth. So the most practical way I could explain this for today, because people could have different schedules, but very, very popular in many shuls, what they have today, what they're called Kiddush Club. Kiddush Club is one of the biggest, I would say, Yetzer Hara, the biggest clippers of this Kiddush Club. What a Kiddush Club in most shuls. I'm not talking about them done in the right way. Kiddush Club in most places where they do it already, when the rabbi say a speech, there's some cool dudes, they think they're cool, or they think they're a bunch of Schwitzer, they're going to go. It's not to their honor to listen to the rabbi tell them Dvar Torah. They have something more important to do. They go to the side room or they go somewhere else over there and they make a Kiddush Club at that time. That's exactly what it says over here. The Kaveh Sudasayu, you make me your party, Bizman Adrasha. And for some people, maybe some people you pulled out of the drasha, it was the only 15, 20, 30 minutes of limud you would have for the whole week. That's the only thing you would hear. And you pulled him out of there to go sell a chayim with him. It says for that you could lose your wealth. Now, one of the reasons, and the Gemara brings a story, one who did the Suda on Shabbos, meaning B'shas HaDrosha, V'achas Kovos Sudoso Be'erev Shabbos, which is the problem with Erev Shabbos, you can't make a big Suda before Shabbos, you need to eat Suda Shabbos, let the oven, with the appetite, V'shteyem Ne'ekru, those families were uprooted. So one of the reasons why it's so important to, on Shabbos, to not to do the Suda middle of the drasha, or not to think of your business, or want to Messiah, meaning go look what the needs you have to do after Shabbos. But it says in the Zohar, Shabbos kulu yoimin mizborchu minei. Shabbos, even though there's the only day we don't work, but all the 6 days that we work, the bracha come from Shabbos. The bracha, the neshama, the goof, the working, the toil, the efforts we put 6 days. But the bracha, if you have no siyata d'shrei, you have no bracha, you could sometimes work your tail off and you're not matzliach, you're not successful, you're sweating but you don't see much results. You want to have a blessing, the blessing comes from Shabbos. If you honor Shabbos, you make a nice Shabbos, you don't think of part of the honor Shabbos, you don't think of Yemei Achol, your business, your other stuff, and you also learn on Shabbos, you utilize the Shabbos the right way, then that Shabbos brings a bracha in the 6 days of work. But if you don't honor Shabbos, you're missing the blessings of Shabbos, and you're missing the other 6 days. You could lose what you earn or not earn. That's why it's important over here, those things for what. Now, the last Gemara we're going to bring over here for here. I mean, there's many more places we could look into them. So that's the Gemara Maseches Avodah Zarah. The Gemara in Maseches Avodah Zarah, Daf Yud Ches Amud Beis. And yeah, if we have time, we'll go also to Daf Yud Tes Amud Beis. The Gemara is like this. Omar Rabbi Elazar, call HaMitloitzet Yisurim Boim Olam. Anybody makes a mockery. Mitloitzet doesn't mean joking. We're allowed to do once in a while, crack a joke, especially the Gemara in Shabbos brings Rabbi Omar Milsa de B'dichusa or Pasach B'shmata, before he started the Shiur, Rabbi used to say, crack a joke. That was to open up, to cheer up, to be happy, learning with B'simcha, open the mind. The simcha, the happiness opens your mind. But if somebody mitloitzes, meaning it's a mockery. What's a mockery? Mockery, somebody, you cannot teach him anything. Basically, he locked the gates to his heart and brain. How you do that? You don't hear anything. Whenever you heard Var Chochma, you reject it, you vomit it. You say, you make a joke out of it. So there's nothing, nobody ever could teach you anything. You basically locked your brain. You locked your brain. That mitzvahs, there's such a mitzvah, that's why Hashem doesn't like them. It says one of the groups, Hashem doesn't dwell in them, it castrates him. He makes mockery of everything, of learning from everything, from everybody. He makes a mockery. Then the Gemara says, such a guy, gonna come on him Yisurim, and the Gemara adds, Omar Rav Ktina, somebody, he isn't into the mockery business, is as a late. He's going to lose his parnosa. Muzanoisov become minimized. Shnemar, Moshach, it's a posuk in Hosea, Moshach yodoi es loitzetzim. So Rashi must be, Rashi says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Moshach HaKadosh Baruch Hu yodoi. HaPoiseach yodoi lozun es hakol. He's opening his hand to support everybody. He says, Moishchom in aloitzen. Hashem takes away his hand, the support hand from people that make mockery. So one of they say somebody came to one of Rabbi Pinchas Koritza, Talmud of the Baal Shem Tov, and he had a problem with parnasa. He didn't have parnasa. Rabbi Pinchas told him he says his parnasa was he was a late. He was trying to make jokes. Well, comedian. Yeah, there's different than a comedian. There's some toichen in them. By Simcha, Samach Chosad Vakala, there is some toichem, there's some comedian that said Dvarim B'Teilim, and they make a mockery of everybody, and Rabbi Pinchas told them, that's what's causing you, that you lost your parnasa. And now I'm going to explain why. One of the shurim already explained this. Why that has to do with the parnasa. What the connection, mockery with the parnasa. So it says in Tanya Perek Aleph, there are 4 elements that all the bad midas in the world, they are branch of one of those 4 elements. The Esh, Ruach, Mayim, Ofer. Fire, air, water, and earth. So it says over there, from the midas HaRuach, the negative part of Ruach, it's dominating by some of the Ruach, comes Dvarim B'Teilim, Letzonos, Lashon Hara, Rechilus. Why? Talk, it's come from Ruach. You have Ruach HaLev, come from the Lev, you talk through your Ruach. Also, the Ruach, the air, it's not tangible. It's not tangible like water or earth. So somebody has idle talk. It's nothing tangible over there. If it's nothing tangible, Hashem says your parnosa won't be tangible either. It's going to be air. It's like air traveling. You don't hold it. It's not tangible. So in order to have the parnosa, one of the things we have to get rid of is letzonis. Letzonis, again, does not mean you should never joke or hear a joke, but a person cannot make all his life, the whole life is a mockery. He makes a mockery of everything he hears, he sees. He cannot learn anything. He cannot grow with anything. And Bechlal, Dvarim B'Teilim, it's part of Letzonis. Moshe V'Leitzim Lo Yoshav, what's a Moshe V'Leitzim? Sitting people sitting, he never talk Dvar Torah, all he talks Dvarim B'Teilim, that's Moshe V'Leitzim. It's empty talk that makes the parnosa empty. From being potent parnosa, it becomes empty. Okay, so that's basically the Gemaras. We're learning how we want to make our parnosa strong and maintain it. It's not being malve beribis, not to lend money with interest, and all the above, honoring Shabbos, and giving meiser, and not being in Yonim Dvarim B'Teilim. There's one more Gemara, a daf, you test on it base. Omar Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi. By the way, that's connected to the last thing was just spoke about. It was said already that the reason alates somebody that's in mockery losing his parnosa because it's empty talk, it's idle talk. It's not tangible. Maybe the parnosa become not tangible. You can't touch a parnosa over here. It's all empty. Try to make it. It doesn't go. Now this Gemara is going to show us how with that midah of ruach, but ruach the kedusha, you could make parnosa. Here's what the Gemara says. Amar Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi. Dover ze kosuv b'Torah. It's written in Torah. V'shonoi b'Nevim. It says second time in the Nevim. U'meshulash b'Ksuvim. Third time it says in Ksuvim. Kol oisek b'Torah. Anybody that oisek b'Torah, more than learn. Oisek means it's mamash become your business. When you're a businessman, every free moment you have, you're going to be involved in your business. Your mind occupied over there. Kol oisek b'Torah. Learns Torah and it becomes his asek. It becomes your business. The chosov matzlichin loy. Your properties, your belonging, you're going to be successful. Your money will grow. Will be successful. Kosov b'Torah. What it says in Torah, such a thing. Dichsiv u'shmartem es divrei abris hazois et sefer devarim. When you're going to guard the covenant with Hashem, v'asisam oisom, and you're going to practice them. Leman taskilos kol asher tasum. Taskilo means you be matzliach. That's one thing of taskilo. There is another thing, but I'm not getting into the details of this Gemara. So I just want to bring general this Gemara. But B'kitzur is you'll be matzliach. If you keep the Torah, you oisek b'Torah, you'll be matzliach. You'll be successful. Shoni b'Nevim. It says in the Nevim, the Chsiv, Lo Yomush, it's Sefer Yeshua, Lo Yomush Sefer HaTorah Z'mepicham, V'agisu bo Yomam V'layla. Should learn day and night Torah. Yomam V'layla, by the way, by some people it's Kipshuta, they learn day and night. Some people are working the whole day. V'agisu bo Yomam, they will Perek Echad Shachris, Perek Echad Arvis, they make few sittim. They learn when they can, in the morning, at night. If you do that though, that's called Yomam V'layla. Everybody comes to his own level. It says, Leman tishmur l'asas kechol hakosov boy, and you're learning in order to practice, not just learning to be a Talmud Chochem or to know. You want to know how to practice. How do you know what to do if you don't learn? Ki oz tatzliach es derochecha v'oz taskil. Then you're going to be matzliach. When you go to your business, then to your work, you're going to see siyata d'shmaya. You're going to see atzlocha. Mushulash b'ksuvim. Third time we see it in Ksuvim, which is Tehillim. Dichsiv kim b'Torah Hashem cheftzoi u'v'sorosei yegim v'loyla. That's a Perek Aleph in Tehillim. Asher eshel b'atzatz Rishoyim v'derech hatoyim l'omad u'meshav leitzim l'yoshav. We just spoke about leitzim. We said the leitzim lose parnotza. But however, the other way kim b'Torah Hashem cheftzoi. But if you're learning Torah u'v'sorosei yegim v'loyla v'ketshosul al pal gemoyim, you're going to be like a tree on the water. Asher pira yiten beitoy. The fruit's going to come from this tree on time. You don't have to worry if it's going to give fruits or not. Meaning, if you put efforts into parnosa, you're going to be matzliach. Va'aleyu lo yibol. The leaves would not get rotten, would not get spoiled. It's going to be, the leaves will be going to be fresh. V'chol asher yasa yatzliach. Whatever he's going to do, you'll be matzliach. Look, We spoke about before why if somebody is a late, making a mockery, losing parnosa, because it says the ruach, it's empty. So you're involved in divrei ruach that's empty, idle talk, lashon hara, letzonos, dvarim b'teilim. So it's nothing tangible over there. So the parnosa become not tangible. However, the ruach also, the same ruach which is not tangible, could be bring you to atzlocha. Torah, learning Torah, it's zelumazeh. In the kedusha, also how you learn Torah with dibur. Dibur, it's also not tangible, but the Torah is tangible. Learning Torah, it's tangible. It's a lot of the tangibility over there. It makes you a different person. You practice what you learn. So since in learning Torah, that's a ruach, the kedusha over there, adrabah. The same thing over there. It's empty ruach. In kedusha, it's not empty. It's potent. That ruach. Mela, that's the gul of a parnosa. So we see from here. Overall, we do Ratzon Hashem, we can be Matzliach. That's why it says Os Taskil. Taskil is not only Tatzliach. Taskil also from Loshen Askol, Seichel, smart. How do we know you're smart, you're Matzliach, you're not doing foolish decisions? Following the Torah then shows you're smart. If you don't follow the Torah, you might be knowing a lot of Torah. You're a fool. You have such a good manual for life. Why don't you follow it? You could have a good life, successful life, happy life. You don't follow it. So that's what it says over here. By doing all that, by following the ways of Hashem, will become matzliach. All right.